Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Goof Tribe, and our topic is all about gene therapy. So, our group members, Kat Sandanya, Mami Ernst, Ernaline Kamada, Dayan, Princess Dian Sagmayaw, Rayan Santos, and Rika May Tanag. So, for the table of contents, we have introduction, types of gene therapy strategies, gene therapy approaches, methods of gene therapy, ex vivo gene therapy, in vivo gene therapy, and vector gene for gene therapy. For the introduction, gene therapy is a novel treatment method which utilizes genes or short oligonucleotide sequence as therapeutic molecules instead of conventional drug compounds. This technique is widely used to treat those defective genes which contribute to disease development. It involves the introduction of one or more foreign genes into an organism to treat hereditary or acquired genetics defects. The disease is treated with minimal toxicity and by the expression of the inserted DNA by the cell machinery. In 1990, FDA for the first time approved a gene therapy experiment on ADAS-CID in the United States after the treatment of Anxiety de Silva. So, ayan. Ang dami na namang words, mahirap panggitin. Introduction for the part 2. Many diseases such as ADAS-CID, X-linked SCID, liver congenital amaurosis, a retinal disease, Parkinson disease, multiple myeloma, chronic and acute lymphocytic leukemia, adrenoleukodystrophy have reported of successful clinical trials. But these are not still approved by FDA. Some other disease on which gene therapy-based research is going on a hemophilia, tyrosinemia, hyperbilirubinemia, cystic fibrosis, and many others cancer. After 30 years of research and clinical trials, only one product called Glybera got approval in November 2012, which was made available in market in late 2013. It has the ability to cure lipoprotein lipase deficiency or LPLD, very rare disease. So let's proceed to the types of gene therapy. There are several approaches for correcting faulty genes, the most common being the insertion of normal gene into a specific location within the genome to replace a non-functional gene. Yan. So, first type of gene therapy. The first one is somatic gene therapy. Therapeutic genes transfer into somatic cell. Introduction of gene into bone marrow cell, blood cell, skin cell, and etc. It will not be inherited later generation. At the present, all researchers directed to correct genetic defects in somatic cell. So, in germline gene therapy, therapeutic genes transferred into the germ cell. Genes introduced into egg and sperm. It is heritable and passed on to later generation. For safety, ethical, and technical reason, it's not being attempted at the present. So, ang pinagkaiba nilang dalawa, si somatic cell, ito, therapeutic genes transfer into somatic cell. Ito naman, therapeutic genes transfer into the germ cell. Then, etong somatic cell, hindi siya napapasa sa other generation. Ito naman, napapasa siya sa generation na itong germline genes therapy, napapasa siya sa ibang generation. So, ayun. Itong germline gene therapy, hindi pa siya ginagamit since para sa kapakanan ng mga gagawa ng ganitong therapy. Kailangan pa ng more lab or marami pang pag-aaral para maging successful at walang mangyari sa mga trial ng ganitong gene therapy. So for the next slide, let's call Ate Ernaline.
Gene therapy strategies. There are more about common approaches that targets the underlying problem, including gene editing, RNA therapy, and cell therapy. Example of this was cystic fibrosis, adenosine deaminase deficiency, familial hypercholesterolemia cancer, and severe combined immunodeficiency, SCID syndrome. There is also in vivo that was approach lacks the improved patient safety, and in vitro and ex vivo, which is systematic delivery, is desirable if the target tissue is not directly accessible. So, targeted killing of specific cells. So, in this targeted killings of specific cells, mechanism used by cytotoxic CD8 plus cells. Second was mechanism used by cytotoxic CD4 cells. Both will result in an activation of pathways that leads to destruction and cellular death of foreign cells. Targeted inhibition of gene expression. Example of that was control of insulin expression, so it gives signals for blood glucose regulation. Another one was X chromosomes inactivation of female mammals to prevent an overdose of the genes it contains. And the last one was cycling expression levels control progression through the eukaryotic cell cycle. Targeted demutation correction. Number 12, hereditary mutation includes cystic fibrosis, hemophilia, and sickle cell disease. It can happen on their own during person's life, rather. That called sporadic or spontaneous or new mutations. And that's all with my part. Thank you.
I'm Rika Maytanod, and this is my part in our report, the gene therapy approaches. Ano nga ba ang genes? Ang genes, ito ay gawa sa DNA na siyang nagiging blueprint upang mabuo ang mga enzyme o protina na gumagana sa ating katawan. Batay sa aking napanood, ang ating katawan daw ay may pagitan na 20,000 at 25,000 genes. At karamihan sa atin ay mayroong 2 kopya ng genes na namamana sa ating mga magulang. Mula sa ating piskal, mula sa ating kakayahan, hanggang sa ating immune system at sa buo nating pagkatao. Ngunit, may pagkakataon na ang genes ng isang tao ay hindi buo at hindi nabubuo. So dahil hindi nabubuo ang genes ng isang tao, nagkakaroon ito ng problema. Maaaring magbago kung paano gumagana ang kanyang protina, maaari ding maapektuhan kung paano siya huminga, lumakad o mag-digest ng pagkain. We have here classical gene therapy and yung non-classical gene therapy. Sa classical gene therapy, ito daw ay nagsasangkot ng therapeutic gene delivery. Ayon dito, kapag nasa loob yung target na cell, yung mga dayuhang genes o yung ibang genes, sila yung nagsasagawa ng mga sumusunod na kilos. Gumagawa sila ng produkto o protina sa isang tao na kulang sa genes. Gumagawa din ito ng lason upang mapatay niya yung mga sakit na selula. So, binubuhay din nito yung mga selula sa ating immune system para makatulong sa pagpatay ng mga may sakit na selula. Dito naman sa non-classical gene therapy, ito yung tumutulong o nagsasagawa upang maibalik yung normal na expression ng gene ng isang tao o ng isang pasyente. Like what I said kanina, yung pagkakataon na hindi nabubuo ang gene ng isang tao. So, dito sa non-classical gene therapy, parang binabalik niya yung normal na expression ng genes ng isang tao o ng isang pasyente. That's all, and thank you.
Good day everyone, my name is Rayan Santos. So, sa discussion namin ngayon, ang naka-assign po sa akin is about methods of gene therapy. And there are mainly two approaches for the transfer of genes in gene therapy. So, number one is transfer of genes into patient cells outside the body or ex vivo gene therapy. And number two, transfer of genes directly to the cells inside the body or in vivo gene therapy. Ex vivo gene therapy. In this mode of gene therapy, genes are transferred to the cells, grown in culture, transformed cells are selected, multiplied, and then introduced into the patient. So, ang pamamaraan ito ng gene therapy ay nasasangkot ng paglipat ng mga gene sa isang cells na kultura. Ang pagpili ng bagong mga cell ay pinaparami sa kanila at pagkatapos nito ay ibabalik muli sa pasyente. The use of autologous cells avoid immune system rejection of the introduced cells. So, dito naman is pinipigilan ang paggamit ng autologous cell para sa immune system at magdadagdag tayo ng iba pang mga cells. The cells are sourced initially from the patient to be treated and grown in culture before being reintroduced into the same individual. So dito, yung pasyente ay gagamutin kung saan ang mga selula na nakuha sa kanyang katawan. At binubuo ito ng muling or pagbabago ng isang cell na papakilala muli sa isang patient. This approach can be applied to the tissue like hematopoietic cells and skin cells, which can be removed from the body genetically corrected outside the body and reintroduced into the patient body where they become engrafted and survive for a long period of time. So, ang pamamarang ito ay maaaring gamitin para sa mga tissue tulad ng balat at hematopoietic cells na maaaring makuha mula sa pasyente and genetically altered sa labas ng katawan at pagkatapos ay muling ipapakilala sa isang pasyente kung saan sila ay umuukit at naninirahan sa mahabang panahon. So, ex vivo gene therapy example from patient or sa isang genes, then nag-grow siya into cells in culture, Then next is the recombinant RNA of normal gene into defective gene in nucleus. Then multifunctional defective protein into reverse transcript. So nagkaroon siya ng integration. And next is the translation of correct protein in crystal, cytosol, then into corrected protein, and the integration of red genes into corrected genes na naging black na siya, then transfer cell and recovered, and the last is select grow and test transfected cells grow cells to 100 billion. So, ibabalik sa patient. So, ex vivo, the cells are removed from the body, incubated with a vector, and the engineered cells are returned to the body. This procedure is usually done with blood cells because they are easiest to remove and return. Next is in vivo gene therapy. In vivo method of genes transfer involve the transfer of clone genes directly into the tissue of the patient. So, ang mga naka-clone ay direktang inililipat sa mga tissue ng isang pasyente sa pamamagitan ng in vivo na paraan ng paglipat ng genes. This is done in case of tissues whose individual cells cannot be cultured in vitro in sufficient numbers, like brain cells, and or where pre-implantation of the cultured cells in a patient is not efficient. So, ito ay ginagawa ito kapag ang particular na cells ng tissue gaya ng brain ay hindi sapat, kapag hindi epektibo ang re-implantation ng pasyente ng mga cultured cells. Liposomes and certain viral vectors are employed for this purpose because of lack of any other mode of selection. So, dahil walang ibang paraan ng pagpili, ang mga liposomes at mga particular na viral vector ay ginagamit para sa layuning ito. In case of viral vectors, such type of cultured cells were often used would have been infected with the recombinant retrovirus in vitro to produce modified viral vectors regularly. These cultured cells will be called as vector-producing cells, VPCs. The VPCs transfer the genes to surrounding disease cells. So, dito yung pagdating ng viral vector, mga kulturang cell na nahawaan ng vitro ay madalas ginagamit upang lumikha ng panibagong viral vector sa araw-araw. Tayo ay sumangguni sa mga nilinang na cell. Ito ay bilang mga vector-producing cells. Ang gene ay kumakalat sa mga kalapit na selula ng sakit ng mga VPCs. The efficiency of gene transfer and expression determines the success of this approach because of the lack of any way for selection and amplification of cells which take up the express the foreign genes. So, ang pagiging epektibo ng discarding ito ay nakasalalay sa kung ano ang kahusayan, ang paglipat at pagpapahayag sa mga genes dahil walang paraan upang piliin at palakasin ang mga cells na kumuha at nagpapahayag ng dayuhang genes. So, vivo gene therapy examples. For number 1, therapeutic genes are inserted into viral DNA liposomes or as plasmid DNA. So, genetically altered DNA is inserted into patient's body by directed tissue injection. And number 3, the inserted DNA is incorporated to the specific cells and produce the needed protein encoded by the inserted genes. So, as we can see in the patient, so the number 1 here is the viral vector. Number 2 is the plasmid DNA. And number 3 is the liposomes. In vivo, a vector could be injected directly into the bloodstream. There are no clinical examples of this third category as yet, but if gene therapy is to fulfill its promise as a therapeutic option, in vivo injected vectors must be developed. And that's all. Thank you. And in vivo gene therapy and ex vivo gene therapy, so ito na yung itsura nila kapag pinag-combine na sila. So, from the clone Gen X into ex vivo, so genes transfer. Then, next is some cells now X. Select X cells, amplify. Then, X cells return genetically modified cells to patient. So, ito yung tinatawag nating in vivo. Then, cells remove and back to the patient. So, yun yung tinatawag nating ex vivo.
My name is Maria Katrina Sisandanya, and my report is differences of ex vivo and vivo. Ang ex vivo po ay ang vivo gene therapy ay kinabibilangan ng pag-alis ng mga cell mula sa iyong katawan, pagbabago sa kanila at paglalagay ng mga ito pabalik sa iyong katawan. Sa in vivo gene therapy, ang mga bagong gene ay direktang ipinapasok sa iyong katawan. So, mayroon dalawang pangunahing paraan upang makapaghatid ng gene therapy. For example, ang unang paraan po is ang ex vivo at ang in vivo na pamamaraan. Ang ex vivo is gene therapy ay kumukuha ng mga cell mula sa iyong katawan, binabago ang mga ito sa isang lab at binabalik ang mga ito sa katawan. Ang in vivo gene therapy ay gumagamit ng mga virus o iba pang mga paraan upang direktang maghatid ng mga gene sa iyong mga cell. So, ang ex vivo po is more invasive and less, sa in vivo naman po ay less invasive. Tas sa ex vivo po is technically complex, and sa in vivo po is technically simple. Sa vivo naman po is no vectors introduced directly, and sa in vivo naman po is vectors introduced directly. Sa ex vivo po, merong safety check possible. Sa in vivo naman po is safety check not possible. Ang panghuli naman po ay, ang ex vivo po ay may close control possible, at ang in vivo naman po ay decreased control over target cells. Stop. And dako na po tayo sa target cells for gene transfer. Ang mga disease po na pwedeng mangyari is cancer. Sa cancer po is at ang target cells naman po nila is tumor, antigen, presenting cells, blood progenitor cells, and T cells, and fibroblasts and muscle cells. At ang pangalawa naman po ay inherited monogenic disease. At ang target cells naman po niya ay lung, epithelial cells, microphage, and T cells, blood progenitor cells. At ang pangatlo naman po ay infectious disease. At ang target cells naman po niya ay T cells, blood progenitor cells, antigen, presenting cells, and muscle cells. At ang pang-apat naman po ay cardiovascular disease. At ang target cells naman po nito ay yung endothelial cells and muscle cells. At ang panghuli naman po ay rheumatoid arthritis. At ang target cells naman niya po ay synovial lining cells. Yun lamang po. Thank you.